welcome to Doors and Corners, a sci-fi and fantasy film commentary podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Zach. And every Friday we sit down and watch a science fiction or fantasy film and give our 2 cents on its quality, production, story, and trivia.
We watch the film together, but without sounds or visuals provided to avoid copyright issues. But if you do have access, we encourage you to join us and follow along.
Here, we like to keep things casual, and there may be discussions of spoilers or sensitive materials or language. But we do try and keep things clean and family-friendly. Ultimately, the goal of this podcast is to create the experience of us all sitting down and watching this movie together.
So get ready to hit that play button, because we're about to get started.
Damn Doors and Corners, I mean, that's where they get you.
Welcome back to Doors and Corners. I'm Brian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Patrick.
He's here too.
Yes,
I wasn't sure I was. Sorry, guys.
I was thinking about
I'm
it.
awake now. I'm awake. I promise.
That's all right. Well, we got we've got a 90s comic book nostalgia hit for you guys tonight. We are doing Spawn.
Spawn. I legitimately almost said Blade by accident.
That was next year.
I would have loved that. Spawn's awesome. I'm looking forward to this. I was telling my wife what we were watching. She's like, "Really?" And I was like, Look, you don't understand. In my 20s, I loved this movie. Now I'm 40, and I look at it with rose-colored glasses, okay? So we got to do this.
Yeah.
And you see, that's where the kind of divide is right now. Pat knows this movie. Pat loves this movie.
So
Brian is like, I remember this movie. I've done research on this movie. This will be interesting. And I'm like, I saw this movie once. I think I remember some of it.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes.
What the audience doesn't realize yet, Pat, is that this is your podcast tonight.
Oh, yeah, we're about to go off the rails.
Yeah, so I'll briefly give you mine because it'll take 2 minutes, and then you can give us your history on this, Pat. Because I saw this movie with a couple friends I actually saw this in theaters, and was just because I was, I think this was what, 97, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
97. Yeah, I would have been a junior in high school, and I was, went to, no, I would have been a sophomore. But, yeah, I mean, went and saw it, and was, I remember hearing how crazy the cape was. It was, that was a big, deal at the time.
Yep.
The CG for the cape. Todd McFarlane's just name was a big deal in the comic space. What's funny is I remember way later that Todd McFarlane did some original design on a line of toys that released with Halo in the early 2000s. And it was a big deal that Todd McFarlane got involved with that. I actually still have a little figurine from one of the controllers that he did a custom design for that was sold as part of Halo 3's launch. So I think of Todd McFarlane, actually, even though it's a tiny asterisk in his long and great career, as more of a Halo, like what he did for Halo, even though, like I said, that's barely part of his career at this point. But anyways, just what Zach said. I saw the movie. I thought it was fine. The Hell CG was cheesy at the time, and I'm sure it'll be even worse now. But I also, though, to Miss Daughter White, is it
Michael Jai White.
Michael Jai White. He is awesome. He's always great.
He is. Yes.
So yeah, like I love, and I think Zach's with me on this one. Love watching anything about stuntmen these days, and YouTube has really given like stuntmen kind of a rise in just popularity and prominence and public awareness. And he's like one of the OG, just like great martial artist stuntmen who also did acting. And this was a movie that he really poured everything into. He really gave it his all. So, yeah, I have not actually seen this movie in quite a long time, but I did do a bunch of research and kind of just reacquainting myself with the trivia of the film and the story behind its being made and all that stuff before tonight. So I've got some facts to drop as we go through this. But
right. Oh, that's great.
Go ahead, Pat. What's your?
Oh, I was just gonna say I didn't realize Zach didn't know much about this, and I was like, oh crap, someone better pull up the background and know some stuff about this. I just know how I feel
research.
About it.
Thank you.
I know. I'm just teasing. No, I loved the cape. Yeah, I remember big time the conversations about, did you see the cape? oh, the CG on the cape's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And yeah, I mean, the movie is I mean, it was obviously. Uh, Please don't crucify me. Is Spawn DC, right? Or is he? It's its own thing. That's right,
It's its own.
isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
one of the things I was going to be
Yeah.
talking about, is that Spawn is from a group called Image Comics, which a bunch of Marvel writers branched off from Marvel,
Mhm.
created their own, and have been extremely successful in some ways.
So it reminds me if like similar style to like the Blade movies. If the Blade movies didn't try to take themselves seriously, because parts of the movie of Spawn are serious and other parts aren't. I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot of fun.
He fires two machine guns at the
Tonally
same time.
dissonant in a good way.
Yeah, and I didn't. I actually did not see this in theater. I actually think I ran out, like, ran through a VHS of this where me and my brother watched this enough times where the VHS got tired. So this was on our my brothers and my like VHS list. It was a bunch of the Star Trek, some Star Wars, and this. Big Trouble in Little China, Howard the Duck, all the like the campy 80s
Oh my
movies. Like,
gosh.
oh yeah.
Howard
So
the Duck. This is what's wrong with you,
definitely
Pat.
looking forward to
God.
this. 100%. This is what's wrong with me. Oh, I'm
So
fully
many
aware.
things make sense. Things have just clicked, especially for your brother.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, not Chris, the middle brother. You don't know that well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's funny because Chris and I were like 5 years apart, so we didn't have too much in common, or we didn't hang that much, like early in my life. So,
Mm.
me and my middle brother were much closer in terms of like nerd stuff, computers, video games, all the
Okay.
things. Yeah.
Chris was your
So,
Shayna,
yeah.
my
Yep.
big sister Shayna.
Yep. Yep.
Mm.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well-
definitely looking forward to Spawn. Gonna be good.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I did not realize that this was Michael Jai White. I thought that this was Keith David.
Gosh. Okay. I mean, Keith David is
Or,
awesome,
excuse me.
but
Yeah.
I'm not sure he could have
Okay.
done the stunt work in the suit.
Yeah, that's
Perhaps
fair.
not,
That's fair.
but it's not an entirely unfounded thing, okay? Because
All
Keith
right.
David
No, I
has
would agree.
voiced Spawn, including voicing Spawn in the animated series that came out the same year as this, and in other animated films and his video game appearances, such as the recent Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay.
So it's not totally unfounded that I thought it was going to
No,
be
that's
Keith
true.
David, but I thought it was Keith David until I was doing the research, and I'm like, Michael Jai White, that weird martial arts dude.
I felt bad because he's been in a lot of kind of direct to DVD action heavy films, and the action's good, but the story and acting are like, eh. But I love that when I was doing some research and they said, this is the second film that he starred in, comic book film, and they said, along with The Dark Knight, and I'm like, you really? Like, no disrespect, but starring in The Dark Knight? I mean,
He does have one of the larger roles in that movie. Or memorable, I should say.
Memorable, I'll give you that. I'm just like, I mean, he's like somewhere in between extra and background character.
No, he wasn't. He's like
So funny.
the big moment, the enough from the clown. He was in like 5 or 6 scenes. He has more dialogue than the rest of the mob bosses, with the exception of the main one, the Roberts guy.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I know. I just
him pretty clearly.
I remembered him.
Have also watched that movie like 400 times, so maybe it's.
I remembered him very well. I think it was just the starring in. It was a weird way to say it. I'm like, he also appeared in. It's
okay. Yeah, you're right on that.
Yeah, he wasn't saying he wasn't in it. Just the idea that he starred in it was the stretch.
yeah. That was like,
It's also a little disappointing that he was in a Batman movie and he wasn't kicking ass.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
well, he's been in a ton of there was like a whole prison series with him in it, I think, and
Yeah.
he like Undisputed or something.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing one of those. He was with he fought Scott Atkins and some things.
Yes, Scott Atkins, because they're actually like good friends, I think, in real life. I'm pretty sure. I've read that a few times.
I mean, they kicked each other's butts enough times in movies.
Yeah. Well, there was a scene with both of them and Ray Park in a film where the three of them are fighting. I'm like,
Ray Park.
That's got to be a pretty cool set. Have the three of those guys. You know, this is some of the
That's
best
100%,
stunt martial
dude.
artists just going crazy.
I mean,
Well,
that's
and-
Spawn
and-
versus Darth Maul versus the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
I mean, think about it like this: like when you get like comedians together and they just start riffing on each other, making fun of each other. Basically, the equivalent to that would be these three getting into like a sparring match, just impromptu,
Yeah.
and that would be fun to watch.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
But this is a fairly short movie, so we should probably get started.
yeah.
Um,
Want to hit us
quick
with the
recap on
highlights? Yeah, Zach.
yes, the highlights. This is Spawn, Spawn, which is also a nickname I give to my nieces. They are my sister's Spawn.
And your cats.
Came out in
Aw.
1997. It is PG-13, which is quite a point of contention we'll get to as we watch it. 1 hour and 36 minutes long, nice and shorty. We're going to be watching the regular theatrical cut, no director's cut or unrated cut, unfortunately, but it's best to do the regular before you do anything else. Directed
That
by
and the-
Mark
and-
A.Z. Dippy.
Keep going.
Dippy?
His only feature film.
Today,
Only feature film. Once again, another really mediocre 90s action movie that was directed by somebody who came right out of music videos. Range. Written by Todd McFarlane, Alan McElroy, and Mark A.Z.B. And it's going to be, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's starring Michael J. White, John Leguizamo, Martin Sheen, and Teresa Randall, as well as Nicole Williamson, who nobody is going to know who that is, but he's actually a legendary stage actor, Shakespearean stage actor.
He plays the mentor type, right? The guy in the
Yeah.
hat.
yeah.
The dude
Yeah,
in
guy
the
in the
hat.
Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well,
Yes.
I mean,
I
basically,
had no idea. It was from memory until I was looking at it this week that John, I can't pronounce his last name, is the clown.
Leguizamo?
No,
John Leguizamo.
he disappears in that makeup.
Oh man, he's so good. Oh, I can't
It's
wait.
like a freaking penguin thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, he
it's
it-
equally one of the better parts of the movie, but also a creepy part of the movie. Like it's,
yeah.
it's can't wait.
well
It's gonna be
he
good.
he described this in a podcast rather bluntly where he said that being in this film and putting on that costume, he felt like he was having to be shoved into a condom every time he wore it.
Right? Full
That's
body
awesome.
condom.
Oh, it's just like, wow, that sounds just what you do for your craft, huh?
Yeah, suddenly I'm reminded of what is
You
that, The
know?
Naked Gun?
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh,
Full
hey,
body condom.
hey, that better be on the list in 2025. I'm just saying, we're due. We're due for a fun one.
Oh.
Goodness, that's great.
All right. Well,
Movie, movie,
everybody, queue up and get ready because we're about to watch this sucker. We're gonna hit that play button in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yay!
New Line Cinema.
Yeah.
So tell
this
us about what New
is-
Line means to you.
No, I was telling the guys before we
Uh,
started recording that New Line is to me Lord of the Rings, like what Fox is to Star Wars, right? I associate the logo so much with that film set that it's kind of always there in my mind now.
You see, for
Does-
me, the music of New Line Cinema, the opening there, I instantly go back to The Iron Giant. Yeah. Wow, this movie just dumps right in.
It just gets
Yeah.
right into it.
I had to
Yeah,
say that there
it's
is
just-
no immediately just. I'm also
Yeah.
distracted by the
Just
the
straight exposition.
Yeah. Well, and the subtitles here on Amazon are so just like big, blocky, like 90s, like closed
Yeah.
captions from like a news broadcast or something.
Yeah. And they're
But,
moving
uh,
so fast because the guy has to talk so fast. Like,
Yeah.
that was what, less than 40 seconds, and they're just like, okay, there's this war between the rulers of hell, and they have their little henchmen to lead their armies, and here's this, and here's a bunch of like Latin and cuneiform text. I'm like, oh, okay, I was going for it. Oh, it's the suppressed cut down MP5K, and he's firing it from the hip. I
Nice.
hate that gun. I hate it. I'll always remember the movie The Losers, the one guy with a single point
Sling.
slings firing him from the hip, and he just looks pathetic.
This is so 90s high tech right here. This missile and just all the gear he's
Yeah, it
putting
is.
on. It's just
Right?
like, oh,
I feel like
check
this is like
out.
This is like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
007 right
Look,
here.
You see, for me, this is a little bit more Splinter Cell. It's the headset with the green eyes.
Yeah. Well, it needs
Mm.
one more though.
I
Yeah, it
know,
needs the one
but
in the
this
middle.
is This is Sam Fisher's
That's
like
true.
disabled younger brother.
Oh,
This is a-
Let's see. Oh, he's waving.
like,
nice.
hello.
Is that supposed to be Saddam Hussein or something?
not a bullet, a full-on missile. Got it. Okay.
Well, it's got to split
When one
apart.
bullet isn't enough, you use a missile.
Yahoo! Man in
There.
hat.
Man in
Mysterious.
hat.
Oh, look at that.
This
It
is-
jumped.
Ooh, this is a cool missile.
4 missiles actually.
It's Iron Man. It's the Jericho missile. But it's a mini
Yeah.
Jericho.
Mm.
Dude,
He-
don't take your mask off till you've gotten away. Now they're gonna see you.
I love that he pulled off his mask and his goggles like all in one move. Just
Hey, that is a pretty badass move. That's true.
I also love, we were watching I was watching with randomly with my wife Demolition Man about a week ago, and it's such a 90s thing that everything has explosives in it, like consoles, doors, computers, cryo storage tanks, everything has like
Hmm.
an explosion like hidden in it, so when one thing blows up, like everything starts to blow up. Just one of those
When-
90s action
I
films.
love how you said that when everything has an explosion hidden in it.
Well, it does though. That's it's just the way they shoot them in the 90s. It's just
Yeah.
funny. Yes, I know I didn't say it
Oh
quite
yeah,
right.
big time.
But I remember when we were watching.
No, but the way you said it was actually perfect.
Oh, nice. It does. Yeah. Somebody tucked a bottle of propane in there and lit it on fire.
Right?
It's interesting too. Some of this film's CG is very good. I mean, this is ILM that did a lot of this. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, there were 22 different, VFX studios, but originally, and some of the core stuff is ILM. But so many other VFX companies threw in to get this thing done on time, and some of it's great, and some of it looks like PS1 cutscenes.
Mm-hmm. This whole thing with the VFX doubled the budget of the movie.
Yeah.
Its original budget was $40 million.
The original was
The original
20.
budget was $20 million. All the visual effects. They originally had 75 visual effects scenes. That ballooned out to, 250 visual effects
Well,
scenes?
like
And
700.
they were still working on it. 700. Damn.
Yeah,
And
it was crazy.
they had it. They were still working on the visual effects.
My
within,
favorite
like,
thing
1
is
week
that with
of the
the
release.
title scene, they show characters you haven't even met yet. That's my favorite.
Well, the
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know any of these characters yet. Why
Yeah.
do I care?
well, and we're getting that very 90s rock theme too here. The
Mm-hmm.
the soundtrack for this film was huge.
Yeah, they had a bunch of people.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
Even the
You have no
font
idea.
here, even the font is so 90s. I love it. Like,
It's
I
kinda
actually-
giving me
Oh,
a
yeah.
headache. It's like I can't read any of it. It's jumping so fast.
well, and they're doing orange and yellow lettering on top of fire, so they're really getting that easy to read contrast there.
I think that I actually saw somebody use the same fire tunnel effect here to be like represent the warp in Warhammer 40K. They were doing a fan edit. I think they used the opening credits for this thing.
It is interesting. Sometimes I miss full length credit sequences at the beginning of films, and other times I'm just like, nah, I'm glad it's become less common.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was
It just
watching.
depends.
I was watching Batman Returns with my wife just yesterday because she'd never seen it, and it's a Christmas movie. And the credits just keep going and going and going at the very beginning.
This
Is it?
was Nicole Williamson's final acting role too.
Huh.
Oh, we're burning flags.
Wait a minute.
It's
so
the
they
elusive
just-
man.
Oh, it is.
Hey,
the
hey,
elusive
watch it, watch it. Mass Effect 4 on the horizon. No,
No,
Man. Mass
so-
Effect, the TV show produced by Amazon on the horizon.
so you know what's
Can't be
Oh, yeah.
worried.
you know what I love? Martin Sheen, he's this, I mean, he is a high-level actor, an acclaimed, dramatic actor, and he actually really wanted to be in a comic book film, and his grandson was
Yeah.
so excited when he took this role. He talked specifically about it, and then he went on to play Uncle Ben in the Andy Garfield
and
Spider-Man's.
Yeah.
The
But,
Amazing Spider-Man.
And then, doing Mass Effect,
Yeah.
it's like, it's just funny because, here he is, one of the, like, more prestigious dramatic actors of the, the 80s, 90s, and 2000s yet. He's just like, I'm going to go have fun in a comic book film. I really like that about him. I like that he lets himself have some fun with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. He specifically said that he wanted to give evil, villainous monologues. This clown, man. It's like, I don't know. It's so gross.
I do not like clowns.
No.
No, John Leguizamo, man, great. He did great in the role.
You mean Luigi in the absolutely wonderful, beautiful, perfect Mario Brothers movie?
That better
From
be
the
on the
90s?
list in 2025 too. We need some steamers in 2025.
Oh.
We watched a lot of good movies in 24. It's time to get some steamers on
Okay,
in 25.
why does she have an air freshener that's the evil clown's face?
I missed that.
Great question.
So, funny thing here is that they have Michael J. White here. They've got his wife, and then they have this guy who looks like Walmart brand Edward Norton, partially because they wanted Edward Norton to play him. But this guy in the comics was another black guy, and they decided to recast him as a white guy because they didn't want the marketing to just they didn't want it only to be marketed towards African Americans. They wanted it to have a
Interesting.
broader audience. They didn't want all their leads to be black people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember reading that too, and it's just such a funny, especially in the 90s, that
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing that you would never say out loud, even if it
Mhm.
happened today. The fact that they just openly admitted it back then, and now we've gotten to the point where you would never say that.
Yeah, and you would never cast. Oh, he glows green. Is he Green Lantern?
Oh, no. He's Whistler,
He's Whistler.
because we're gonna get the better version of this movie in about a year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Blade won.
Which
We are?
funny? Oh my God, he's got the little mouthpiece and everything, and the sunglasses. They're so serious. Little cardboard cutout, man.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Well, in the 90s too, the those plastic bug-eyed Oakleys were such a rage in the late 90s.
Right? This lady. What has this
Melinda-
lady been in?
Melinda Clark. So she's actually been in
He's
a lot
been
of
in
things.
so many bad lady
Yeah.
roles.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
how the heck did that holster work?
as long
The
as she
gun was,
didn't.
like,
You
straight out
want to
of
see it
the bottom.
again, don't you? You want to see the holster again. You want to check it out, don't you? Yep. Mhm.
Well, it
I'm
works
telling you.
fine.
You got me,
I'm
you
just
got
kidding.
me.
It works fine as long as you don't move very quickly or ever need to get to it in a hurry.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's right. He
Is that a
smokes.
fishbowl? Oh, scorpions! I thought he put out his cigarette and fish.
No,
He's gonna
and
be
it's
mad.
funny. He smokes these like black cigarettes that are actually like cloves. They're actually kind of not sophisticated cigarettes, but because they're black, they look all like, ooh, he smokes black cigarettes. He must be evil. Although I will say, man, Martin Sheen has got such a good voice. He's just
He does. For those who might not be familiar, there's a video game series that the three of us are particular fans of. Called Mass Effect, and Martin Sheen is a major player in that series as both a physical model and voice, and he plays a very similar role to this: a mysterious intelligence agent of some sort, a spider sitting in his web that has also sold his soul to a devil.
Yeah. I love how over the top it is. We're making
Yeah.
plans. We're watching scorpions fight to the death in a bowl for fun. She's got a tarantula climbing on her. It's like layer upon layer upon layer of, just in case you didn't realize, these are evil, dangerous people. And we're going to be so subtle about it, you'll just miss it if you blink.
Mm-hmm. So subtle.
It's
so
great.
Subtle. And this movie moves very, very quickly. Like, wow, does it move fast? Which is good in some ways. But I feel like I can't even look away for a second.
You're going to miss something important, yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's
Anytime you get 90s like special ops guys too, just they're always in full black. He's always got the the mic style that's like around his neck, like that was a big thing in the 90s. I mean, The Rock really kind of had the template with all the SEALs where they were dressed up when they went in on the island, but
the movie The Rock. I'm like,
The Rock.
But he wasn't an actor until Mummy Returns.
No. But
I love it.
The classic Michael Bay film, The Rock.
Dude, I did the same thing. I did the same thing, Zach. That's where I went, dude, and I was like, oop.
But just it's yeah, okay, you guys have your fun. But it's very like 90s special ops guy. That's just how they all looked the same. Oh
They're
no.
like, we shoot you now.
They betrayed
your
him.
Sudden but inevitable betrayal.
No, it's a great line.
That is a surprise.
I'm gonna sit here and smoke a cigarette, so you really know that I'm villainous.
Ugh. Who has an acid gun? That's horrible.
Wasn't it? You catch him on fire? Yeah, I think it was acid. Wasn't it like fuel, some kind of
oil.
flammable? Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was green. I thought it was gonna be acid.
I'm gonna flick my cigarette on you.
Which cigarettes is they don't light things very well.
Oh man.
Either way, he did this stunt. Michael Jai White did that stunt.
Oh yeah. He really did the fire stunt. Yep. Although
it's all bad. Chemical factory.
This is one of those films where they literally do. Yeah, he really does die. He's going to hell.
Yeah.
Because he was not a good man.
Talk about method acting. He actually died for that role. That was really cool.
Yep. He went to hell. He made a deal. They had to do the production contracts through a Ouija board.
Oh, geez.
Okay, we really need him to sign off on the extra filming time. Somebody get the medium. We need the seance set up.
I will say the makeup job. The makeup job is actually quite good.
It is. I think that the makeup is the reason why so many actors passed on this role. It was offered to pick a black actor. It was offered to him.
Any black actor who's in shape was offered this film.
I heard it was offered to Keith David, but he turned it down.
Well, what was funny is Will Smith passed on it because he was just very much trying to be like the squeaky clean, good guy at the time.
Yeah.
And he went on to do Men in Black instead of this, which it worked out well for him, I guess. So
yeah, and it did. But the studio didn't have a lot of faith in this movie. It was this was coming out at the same time as Batman and Robin and stuff like that. There wasn't this idea that comic book movies could or should be dark. So this was a little bit of a step in a weird direction, so they didn't get a ton of funding for it.
Well, Todd McFarlane...
Good direction, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Todd McFarlane sold the rights to New Line for $1 because he wanted but he wanted all the marketing and creative input. He wanted
creative control.
Yeah. I mean, that was...
What was it?
Well, he got creative control and he got all the... Not marketing, merchandising. He got all the merchandising.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the merchandising. Money.
I love that hell is basically just South Central at midnight.
Hey, watch it. Then we might have some viewers from there, or some listeners.
Guys,
Look,
South Central sucks. Hey, listeners.
This like random kid. It's just like I do love the fact that
the
he's
kid that was in
literally
every '90s movie and show.
Yeah.
He was Michelle Tanner's friend in Full House.
Oh God, I hated Full House.
He was
I still
also
hate
the
Full
kid
House.
from Mercury Rising. He was Simon. He was the kid with autism. Mommy,
have-
Simon is home. Who's that
I
kid?
have never seen that movie.
All right, that's going on
This
the
is
list
supposed
too.
to be hell, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
Why is the
literally
little kid in hell? What did he do?
the way he says Mister.
Okay, but now I'm kind of wondering, what did a kid do to get in hell? What
Yeah.
did you do? Oh, the music. There it is.
Kicking in.
Is this Marilyn Manson?
Keep in mind,
That's
it
Marilyn
may not
Manson.
be. They may not be other people in hell. This just might be Spawn's hell, right?
I guess.
That's definitely Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. I mean, this feels very like it was part of the inspiration for the Matrix soundtrack.
I can see that.
100%.
This movie is seen as pretty influential. It influenced Blade in some pretty significant ways, which came out a little over a year after this.
Yeah.
And Wesley Snipes was offered the role of Spawn. He turned it down also.
Yep. Well, and this was technically the first appearance by an African American as a comic book hero. Didn't he beat Shaq by like by just a few
No,
weeks?
there was one
for
before.
Steel.
There was
Well,
one before.
Well, there was, but
1993.
but not a comic. Yeah, I remember reading about this, and it wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
Technically,
Oh, maybe not a comic book. Yeah.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that this is the first for comic book because I remember saying that like Shaq barely was behind him just by a couple weeks when Steel came out. No, there's a bad movie we should do with you, Pat.
What movie?
Steel,
Oh,
the Shaquille
Oh,
O'Neal
God.
movie.
Okay, is this the third time that we've had some sort of dramatic voiceover by this guy
I think so.
in
Yeah.
order
Not
to
to
give
mention-
exposition?
They keep using these crosses for like dramatic, screen transitions. It's just-
It's like a vampire.
well, they really wanted Richard Harris to play the mentor dude.
Oh.
So wait a minute.
Richard
So
Harris
so
is great.
is he back? Like, did he leave hell there? Did I miss that?
Pat?
yeah.
Because I don't fully
Yeah,
understand what's
something
going
like
on
that.
either.
Yeah,
Like,
basically,
did the
I think.
voiceover just like, oh hey, now he's leaving hell?
Well, and time has passed on Earth. A bunch of years has passed. So basically, his partner actually married his wife, and is helping raise his daughter and play with his dog. And
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't be mad. If I'm dead, I want somebody who's going to take care of my wife.
right,
I mean, at least she's not like sad and alone. Territorial bastard.
And of course, like the clown is randomly, like the villain
it's
dude.
John Leguizamo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I think he brought him back. So I think what happened is John Leguizamo was able to like bring him back, kind of like Ghost of Christmas Past or Future, to kind of see what has happened, like, and show him that his life is like everyone's moved on, and they're trying to get him to be a soldier for hell in the big battle.
Okay.
So I think John Leguizamo was trying to show him how bad it is.
It looks pretty good though. Like if I'm dead and I saw that, I'd be like, "Oh, they're so happy." God, it's like, ew.
Yeah. This is.
You did it dark.
Yeah.
I think
But
that's
you're-
referred to as othering. It's very offensive.
Oh man, this movie does just, man.
All I know, some randos in my backyard. I'm sorry, I'm not I'm not reacting that way. I'm not reacting that calmly.
Oh,
Freaky
goodness.
accident with some Jiffy Pop. Oh.
Dude, John Leguizamo has some of the best one-liners in this movie.
Yeah. Ugh. So when he's in that costume, though, he had to crouch the whole time. He had
Yeah.
to like a crouch walk, and apparently it hurts so bad sometimes that like they'd say cut and he would just fall down. Like, Pat, we work out together. You know when you're holding a
Oh, I'm
squat
sure.
like halfway down?
Yeah.
He's doing that for filming
sure.
a whole movie.
Yeah, that would definitely.
Damn.
And that is the creepiest toy ever. I mean, I know it's supposed to be, but they did a good job. It also did it like spit some kind of green something when he handed it to her.
Yes. Yep.
And yeah, she's got this. She had the clown's face on an air freshener. I don't know why.
I just found
He-
something. So Wesley Snipes, Cuba Gooding Jr., Snoop Dogg, Tony Todd, Alan Payne, Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson, Ving Rhames, Tupac, LL Cool J, Hakeem Alston, and Will Smith were each originally considered for the role of Al Simmons.
Wow.
Can you imagine how like just legendary
The
this
12th
film
pick.
would be? I was going to say if this had actually been Tupac though, like the different kind of
yeah.
different kind of status this film would have.
Yeah. This is so gross.
Oh,
Oh no! Yeah, I remember this.
man.
Goodness gracious! Apparently, that was one of the scenes that like they had over 200 cuts of this movie submitted to the MPAA before they were able to get it down to PG-13, and apparently they had a big problem with the skid marks scene. Your viral necroplasm going through its larval stage. That must have been a great line to deliver.
Okay, so Zach, I need you to give me like the elevator pitch for the Spawn comics. Like, what made them such a big deal so fast?
Okay, one of the reasons that they were such a big deal is that Todd McFarlane was like a god at this time among comic book people. He created Venom. Technically, he's considered like the co-creator, but the feel of Venom in the mid-'80s and everything like that, the design, the 80s was this time where it was transitioning from getting out of the comic books authority, the comic code authority, and all the goody two-shoes comics of the 60s and early 70s. 80s started getting darker and grittier, and Todd McFarlane was responsible for a lot of that, especially in the X-Men and Spider-Man comics. And so he created Spawn. And Spawn was, it's Batman from hell. And they're not going to pull any punches. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be violent. It's going to be, like, sharp and edgy. This is the ultimate edgelord comic. This is the ultimate edgy movie. Except in this case, it looks like he's going to be serving a dog that had sex with a weasel and is on fire. Yeah, this is fun. But yeah, he was this big, expansive, super edgy guy. So did that confirm that the fire burned his balls off?
Yep, I believe so.
That sucks.
I mean,
That sounds like Tony Todd.
yeah. Well, who voices the devil or whatever?
Yeah,
The monster.
not devil. Mayo Goblia.
Ah. Yeah,
I'm not pronouncing that right, but that's actually a place in Dante's Inferno, not an actual person.
Yeah.
I should say.
That's
voice.
the devil sounds like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Oh goodness. Frank Welker is the voice of the devil. I can't do it.
I'm not even going to try. So okay, so I think when he was on the
He's a
street,
heavy voice. If you've ever seen pretty much anything, he's mostly known for the Cave of Wonders.
Aladdin.
Yep, that sounds right.
Disturb my
Okay,
slumber.
so earlier when he was like on the street with the kid, I don't think that was hell. I think he was already back, but he was just confused.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm thinking about that. What do you think, Pat? Because I feel like that wasn't hell now. I think hell was pretty clearly on fire, and that just looked like
Yeah.
it just looked like a bad street in Los Angeles.
For sure. No, that sounds right.
So the kid
Like
did,
or like purgatory.
so the kid offering him a Coke wasn't in hell. I mean,
Yeah.
at least not
Yeah.
literally.
I mean, okay, so him just comparing themselves, like he's Clarence to like the It's a Wonderful Life thing. He said that he's like Clarence to Spawn's Jimmy Stewart.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. I love that so much.
Oh gosh.
There's some good stuff in this movie like that.
It's just like, man, we are
Oh
jumping
goodness.
to stuff. Just okay. We like, what did he like? Just stab a?
It looks like a ram skull.
Yeah, these are like three just
And-
like wannabe like spellcasters or something here.
Yeah, I think so. These are definitely meth heads who think they've stumbled upon the great
Oh my
secrets
gosh.
of the devil.
I was 100% right on Frank Welker, the voice of Dr. Claw. Also, I'm
Oh my
glad. Yes.
The claw. Is he going into his own body bag?
Yeah, he's looking at himself now.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh, he's having a bad day.
he's really having a bad day.
Talk about touching yourself. I apologize for nothing.
Oh, geez, that's so good, Zach.
Oh, it's the locket. It's glowing
no.
green.
Yeah.
What's funny is, I know in some interviews, he said that he would be happy to like play this role again, but he's also said that he never has acknowledged that he likes this movie because he doesn't really like this movie. But
Yeah.
and he would be willing to like look at it again because I guess there was a cut that he really loved that was much more character focused before they got all the extra CG in.
Yeah. Oh, he's super strong.
My fist glows green.
He's got gooey fists. Wow, literal edgelord. You know, this stuff right here, though, is pretty darn cool.
Yeah, this, especially for the era, this is not bad at all.
And for some reason, it's given me like Event Horizon vibes.
Yeah.
And
He just
he-
leveled up, guys.
Yeah,
He unlocked his class specialization.
Yeah.
I was going to say he reached third level and got his subclass.
One thing though I'll say is this is one of the best examples of, I mean, very comic accurate costuming.
Yeah.
The
No,
only-
this is fantastic.
Yeah. It is interesting, guys. I remember reading this a few times in various things I was looking at, but you know, in the posters, he was constantly wearing just a regular like cape, which obviously later is a big deal, the CG cape. But he never
Mhm.
actually wears just a regular cape at some point, just, you know, walking around.
No, they thought that it didn't look right with the rest of the costume because the way that the fabric would have to fall and the textures of the suit and everything like that, they couldn't get it to hang correctly and still look right. This has given me Bugs Bunny, the Sherwood Forest Bugs Bunny, when he pretends to be the King of England and goes to the Sheriff of Nottingham and he's like, "Arise, sirloin of beef, Earl of Clove, essence of myrrh," and he's just like whacking the guy with the scepter. I'm loving John Leguizamo as this clown though.
Oh, he's hamming it up,
Oh,
like in
it's amazing,
the best
dude.
ways. Like he's there for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I get why people were saying have said multiple times
This
that
movie-
he should play like Joker or Penguin because this movie makes it make a lot of sense. I feel like I can smell him and he smells like the dump.
Oh yeah.
Ah, it's like John Wayne Gacy had sex with a rotting volleyball.
Oh my god.
Oh, the scene. No, no.
He actually
No.
ate the
Oh,
pizza.
yes, he did.
But
He ate the bugs,
And
the
then-
live bugs.
Yes, and then as soon as
Yep.
they hit
Yep.
cut, he vomited off screen. I could kick some. Oh man, he's just so
Right.
delightfully evil.
Yeah. Like, this guy's, he's accepting the sad fate of him forced to be evil. This other guy's just like, oh, it's so easy when you're evil. Obi-Wan.
He does have an
This
epic
guy
voice though too.
He doesn't belong in this movie. He looks like he should be in a Robin Hood movie.
Yes, but it'd be like he does have a nice voice, but yeah, he's just too. I don't know. I was about to say clean. That's not the right word, but he's like a century too early.
Okay, wasn't it in Doctor Strange, the book that Mads Mikkelsen stole was the book of Cagliostro, like Wizard of Time?
I mean, that wasn't Doctor Strange. I don't remember the exact. Ooh, he's got a sword hand.
Ooh, magic extendo swords.
His is blue though, so that means that it's good.
8-6 headquarters.
isn't that Deadpool? That's Deadpool, right?
Exactly. This is a really for how slow this movie, how fast this movie goes. This is a really long pan up a building.
Yeah, they are.
Cool.
Good. We got the multiple news reports. It's always a nice way to let us know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Love this lady's hair. It looks like a helmet.
Hey, it's the guy.
Oh, is that his friend?
Yeah, that's his friend.
Yeah.
Wow, honey.
Yep.
No, I mean,
Well,
nice guns.
So she was either created
I
or
wonder what.
brought.
Well,
Well, I was gonna say she was either created or brought in because the character that's supposed to be her role is actually the rights were owned by somebody else. They couldn't use them in this film.
Yeah, something
I think
like
it was yeah.
like the whole
Yeah.
mini disc. Look at that. Get it.
Ooh, Heat 16.
Oh
That's-
man. I
And
mean,
what's this beard?
yeah. I mean, I have to hand it again to Martin Sheen. He's just having a good time. You can tell he's just here for it. He's like, I'm just gonna just embrace this with everything I've got. This is, I mean, he's reminding me a little bit of watching Gary Oldman in The Fifth Element. You know, just embrace the over the top
stones. I need the
villainous.
stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We need to lay off 500,000. 1 million.
There's the cape. That's the first shot of the cape, right there.
Ooh, yeah, right there.
Ooh. So flowy.
That's a big cape.
Retractable.
It kind of has to be for budgetary
As
reasons.
all capes should be.
I love that he's a super powered demon,
But he
He
needs
uses guns.
demon lord, and he's just like, guns.
Hey, you know what? If you can akimbo a pair of H&Ks, then you're just by definition cool, right?
Yeah. I hate HKs. His voice is just getting to me. Would you excuse us, my dear? So the director of this movie, though, big VFX artist.
He
Went on
actually
to direct classics such as Frankenfish, but he cut his teeth on movies like Jurassic Park and The Hunt for Red October.
doing effects because didn't he work for ILM? Because I think the effects company that also handled a lot of this, they were like some former ILM guys who like started their own company, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is correct. Germany. It's just voice is getting to me. I keep saying that, but I can't take it seriously. It sounds like he's talking through a vocoder.
Yeah, I wonder if they did a little tweaking to his voice because, or if Martin Sheen is actually like putting some kind of weird effect on his own voice just as he speaks, because that's not how he sounds in real life. I mean,
No.
it's obviously still him. Like you would recognize it as, oh, that's Martin Sheen, but with some kind of a processor and or
A
filter on
little
it
extra
of some kind.
a little extra gravitas to it. That's what it is.
They handed him those black cigarettes, and they're like, "Pretend you've been smoking these since you were 10."
I also love secret organization names in the 90s, like A6, Omega Force from True Lies. I mean, it's just, because you can't just use CIA. You've got to come up with some fictionist. I mean, you could almost go back to Spectre from the Bond movies. Oh, he's got a P90 with a white sight on the top.
Ooh, P90. That's high tech for that era. P90 was only patented in 1992.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, gosh, the P90 in GoldenEye, that was like cheating when you're
Game over.
Odd Job with the P90.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
game over, man.
P90. That was in GoldenEye? I didn't realize that.
Well, it was in the
Oh, yeah.
game. It was in the game.
It was called the RPC
Oh
90.
yeah, I played a bit of GoldenEye, but it's been so many years.
Oh, Cape is a transition.
Oh, transition. How fun. Wait, I remember this scene, like, vividly. I remember seeing this
Yeah.
because this is because they have the lady.
It's a Power
pink
Ranger.
lady.
I seriously, that looked like look at a Power Ranger outfit for me. Just the
It did.
Yeah.
the big white diamond. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I can't take this movie seriously.
I don't think you're supposed to, though. That's kind of what the fun is, It's not supposed to be serious at all.
Yeah.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen tried to have, like, a serious undertone of grief and legacy and passing on. This is just like, nah, akimbo machine guns,
Yes.
clown, evil magic clown.
It's a code red security breach instead of a code yellow security breach, which means you can finish your champagne first.
Yeah, if it's a code yellow, that just means that one of the guests got drunk and wandered into like a secure area.
Well, it's a good thing it
If
wasn't
it's
a
code brown,
code
one of them
brown.
pooped in the lobby.
Man, she is just
Get out of my head.
some tight black leather on that lady, and I don't mind.
It's not my thing. Yeah, this right here, legendary scene now. Like hero shot. There it is. I swear, he is like the source of all of those weird knives that you would see at that mall shop.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Mall ninjas. I like that there's no preamble. There's no like great reveal. It's just like, hey man, I'm here to kill you, and this is why.
Yeah. Just immediately tells him. Oh gosh.
Did he kill him? Why wouldn't he? You're dead. You have like rights to your wife after you're dead?
I mean, some biblical traditions, you're actually called upon to do that, as a duty.
Yeah.
Now he's alive. Oh.
Is he? Yeah, I always remember this because I hated the firing from the hip akimbo thing, and she had the like little earpiece and all that. And she doesn't like bob and weave or anything. She's just like, I'm a human turret. Wow.
He heals.
Wolverine, but green. Wolverine.
What kind of guns are those that she's carrying? I mean, obviously those are like propped up something, but like
They're super modified by the armory.
Yeah, but
guy.
to say,
Like-
I think those are Mac 10s that have been like very dressed up.
They are Mac 10s.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
gotta
very
be
dressed up
Mac
Mac 10s. Yep, they're Mac 10s.
Did you go to IMFDB?
I did not.
No.
Well, I am.
Only I only went to IMFDB for Minority Report because for the Beretta P2000.
Ah,
Oh,
okay. So, ooh.
I love that, like, that delayed reaction. She, like, looked down, saw what it was, and then, like, put her head back and then screamed. It was very, just, I mean,
He was in shock.
it was not natural.
It's actually a modified M11. Interesting. Okay. Cobra M11-9. Well, I didn't realize that they killed her so early. I mean, it's essentially a it's a Mac 11, actually. It's like a Mac 10, but made by somebody else.
Oh gosh. So because he's like kind of rebelling against that, he's supposed to be like, the devil's agent or whatever, but he's
Well,
like,
they're
is that what's
well,
going on
but
here?
the clown is trying to like get him all heated up.
Oh,
And again,
did
if he
a-
destroys the rest of his life, he's got nothing to really live for but be Hell's soldier. So
I just love the
Obi-Wan's
front.
trying to get him to calm down.
Yeah, I just loved the front flip with the machine guns while he's firing. Like that combination is just, it's pretty awesome.
I'm sorry. Did he just have, like, grappling hook nipples?
Basically. Oh gosh.
Grapple nipples. Oh,
My favorite thing is about how he's about to hide.
What kind of guns
My
do these guys
favorite-
have? These are like Swiss.
M1
Those look like
Garages.
Enfields.
Yeah, these are like
Yeah.
Decorative Enfields,
Ceremonial
I
guns.
think.
yeah, ceremonial guns. Yeah.
Are they at like they might be at an embassy or something.
More fire from the hip. Was that a minigun?
It was like an A12 or something, like an AA-12 he was shooting from the hip.
Yeah, that was a 1917 Enfield. They were painted white to be ceremonial.
And of course, nobody actually saw that happen. They're just like, "Where'd he go?"
Like, what did he do? He just, like,
Cape
wrapped
covered him,
himself in his
and-
cape and...
Yeah, and then camouflage. Basically, yeah.
Well, all right. He's like Spider-Man and Batman and Dr. Octopus and all in one.
Oh my gosh! So all of that to hide, and then like a piece of the railing goes down and gives him away again.
Yeah.
It instantly.
I mean, they're shooting enough that I assume the masonry is just kind of effed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guy's got like the mounted M60 just going crazy.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's definitely...
just-
It's the 90s where there was infinite ammo.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, they just come off of the Cold War. They had all those stockpiles and never got to use them.
Why didn't he just do that in the first place?
So does he like not really
I have
control his
questions.
cape?
I think he's learning.
I mean, you tell me, doesn't that cape look like it's got a mind of its own?
It does seem like a 90s, does Doctor Strange's cape have a name, right? It's like a...
The Cloak of Levitation. I'm assuming that this is the Cloak of Levitation's little brother who got sent to juvie at like 12.
This guy.
And he... Oh, he's so sad. He's so sad.
Wouldn't she go to hell and get a deal with the devil? I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh,
Okay,
you know she would.
Actually, that was the plan. In the original script, they were going to tease a sequel in which she has like an after the credits or end of the movie scene where she's offered a deal by an enemy devil, and her mission would be to kill Spawn.
Oh man.
Okay. So is the clown like playing them against each other?
Think so.
Yeah, I what is the clown's agenda? Like, what is he trying to do?
Yeah.
And he cracks himself up constantly.
I'm actually listening because I want to know what he's doing.
Yeah, because so do they want to like kill the world with Heat 16? Is that the is it just one of those? Here's a plague that ends all life and
Yeah.
feeds the
I
devil
don't think
somehow.
it's supposed to end all life. I think that they're like getting soldiers for the war. They need the
Yeah.
souls.
Is he fighting God?
I think they're fighting other demons. I can't tell though.
I have no idea. Just like.
Oh, classic.
Yes.
If your heart stops ticking, the bomb goes off.
Reminds me of when we did Judged. Not Judge, but just Dread. Just plain old Dread. You know, the end where she's got it attached to her pulse. So he throws her off the...
Mm-hmm.
He says, it's got a short range on it. I'm just going to take the risk.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my gosh.
I remember...
I do not want to envision that clown with those women. That's just not sexy.
Batman Arkham Origins had that.
Oh, see,
Joker
there you
had
go.
The thing.
Did you guys hear that? Hold on. So basically, his deal with the devil is that he gets the Earth after Hell takes it over. Basically, after the armies of Hell win,
Okay.
he gets the Earth. This is what it seems like. So.
Okay, I buy it.
I was on the bad side.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. She's just like, uh-oh, burn victim.
Of course, his dog still remembers him.
Yeah. I like the, I don't know, him in the hallway is a genuinely kind of creepy and imposing look. Kind of reminds me of Candyman.
I was playing with my dog and I fell down
Danger.
with all the basketballs.
Danger.
Your face
Danger.
is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Although kids would be one of the, like a certain type of kid would be like one of the few that would just be like, all right, just kind of roll with it. Other kids would run away screaming. Right. Don't get me wrong, but some kids would be like, no, I'm not really afraid because I have no idea.
Right. You're still ignorant.
Oh.
Now he's dressed up like a cheerleader.
Yes, so good.
Okay, this took a turn. Like...
Oh, man. The effects are so low res here. I don't get how this was... I mean, I know a lot of the special effects for this movie literally were delivered like 2 weeks before the movie like went to theaters. But this... Like, I remember video games from the 90s having better cutscene graphics than this.
Yeah. Like, it's just a big mouth open.
Reason they didn't have the mouth move was probably budget stuff. But
no, so I actually
did say, because he wanted him basically speaking through Hell, not through his mouth.
Okay, but to say, yeah, I read that also.
Silly.
Yeah, they're like,
it was like telepathically or something.
Yeah,
you said budget stuff, right?
Well, that would be my guess to not animate it because that would cost way more than.
I just want to make sure you said budget stuff because it sounded like you said butt stuff.
I love that the little girl is still holding on to the doll.
This movie is, oh yeah, still got the doll. By the way, Zach, this movie is corrupting you a little bit.
Definitely. I
love it.
Could you imagine if they had some sort of like 6-hour full cut of the movie? Just like
just a fever
all
dream.
The jokes and all the gross and
well, I want the full HBO Zack Snyder version of this movie.
Right?
How many?
I mean, there
slow
is an
motion
cut out there.
How many slow motion cape scenes would we get?
That's a good point. I always go for another slow motion cape scene.
I'm into it.
So was it?
Jeez.
Go ahead.
No, you go for it.
I was just going to ask, was it, because you said you just watched Batman Returns, was it Returns or Batman and Robin where they did the really iconic, like, through the ceiling glass, with the cape out, which this movie...
That's going to be neither, sir. That would be Batman Forever.
sorry, that's what I meant. I mean, it was either the Val Kilmer or the George Clooney one. So,
It
sorry.
was Val Kilmer and sort of recreated for George Clooney.
Yeah. Okay, so that was before this film. Forever was before this film, right?
Yes, Forever was, I want to say, 94? 95? But I was just going to say, modern adaptations. There was an announcement for a Spawn reboot movie starring Jamie Foxx about 5 years ago, and it went nowhere. Behind the scenes stuff, probably Marvel stuff, probably Right stuff, I don't know. But either way, doesn't appear to be happening. However, 2 months ago, someone shared an image, someone like a producer who said that they were making Spawn, shared an image of a script for a movie called King Spawn. Characters by McFarlane. So, and they said, we're doing it. So there is another Spawn movie actively on the horizon. If it's still going to be starring Jamie Foxx, who the heck knows?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he could do it just fine. He's got an intensity about him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that he's a little bit blacklisted because of the whole abuse allegations, but since the charges were dropped and he was found innocent, could you imagine Jonathan Majors?
I love that he's awake for this. There's no way.
Well, I don't know. You're with these people, some rich dude. A number of them who have been through major surgeries supposedly have been like, nope, I don't want to be asleep. Like there's an actual thing to that. It usually has to do with really good local anesthesia. It usually has to do with distrust, paranoia.
The dog is sticking with him.
Yeah.
The loyalty of a good dog. Meanwhile, my cat is stalking my other cat. Loki, stop it. Yeah. That's a good one.
The kid's like, I want to go help you shoot some people. Sounds like fun.
Well, that's why the kid's in hell. I know, he's not in hell. But they're using the kid to, like, humanize him, right?
I mean, the kid's name is Zach, so you should feel some kinship here.
Zach's suck. He probably spells it with a K.
Doing surgery through a video game.
Actually, you know what? I remember seeing this. This was on a video where they were doing, like, analyzing surgery scenes in movies. And they actually said that this one was pretty good. They liked the amount of protection that he had on his face and everything, and the visor. They're like, oh yeah, it's a little, I don't know what that technology is they're using there, but they liked the scene. They thought that it looked better than the majority.
Okay, so he's dipping something in mayonnaise. Oh, man.
Onions? No, worms. Earthworms.
Earthworms and mayonnaise.
Fascinating. Okay, they cut away. I'm fairly certain that was just a gummy worm.
Yeah. Now that's a trailer shot right there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
big time.
Just these burn away cuts. Goodness,
Go
he
get him,
does spell it with a
Obi-Wan.
K.
You got
It's
this.
a K-Zack. K-Zacks are no good.
This clown he just keeps popping up. He's just, just like an annoying
Bad Penny.
Yeah. Get out of here, Zach.
Okay, bye.
Oh, man.
Gives me the EVs and the GBs.
So everybody just admits it. Like when they're like caught, they're just like, yep, it was me.
It was me.
Mario. Although he was
No, I was
Luigi.
thinking of Liar Liar. It was me.
Oh, that's right. Gosh.
Farted
Exactly.
in the elevator.
Oh man.
I'm like, don't know how to mock this or actually get into it. Like, it's really confusing in some ways.
I'll be honest with you, entirely because of this clown and just the cool special effects of Spawn himself, I am into it. I thought I was going to be mocking this thing through and through, and I am going to be a little bit, but I like it. Unironically, I am having a great time. I do not understand what's going on, though.
Yeah, I am genuinely confused about some of the plot points. I mean, I get the general idea here, but I feel like the plot is really just a reason for, a couple individual scenes they wanted to shoot where, he's shooting machine guns while he front flips off a balcony because, well, that'd be cool. And his cape.
Yeah.
And, the dog peed on him.
Good dog.
Don't hurt the dog.
Did you know there's an entire site that's dedicated to listing potential triggers in movies, and it's called doesthedogdie.com?
Nice. I get behind that.
It's a lot more than dogs, though. It's how I find out if there's something in it that's going to make my wife upset, like vomit or eye mutilation.
Which is why she's never going to watch Minority Report with us.
God, no. I told her about that movie, and she was like, nope, 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 and went upstairs. She only came down to feed the cats. She didn't even want to be in the same room as it was playing.
So this scene here, everybody, he's not a vibrator. Maybe. Isn't everything he just named, like, actually some kind of, like, hellish character or something?
Yeah, they used a lot of characters. Now, this is where their budget went. But that's pretty cool.
And it already looks better
Especially
than
for
the devil.
mid-90s.
Like,
It still looks like a Power Ranger villain, though.
Go Violator.
But say, you got to get the Zords in here, and you got to get them to team up to fight this guy, because he's going to get, they're going to make him go big, too.
Is this like the big boss fight already? Or is this just kind of a minor
it's
thing?
it's a mid boss.
That tongue is, just... You kick the dog.
Yerk. Was that a practical effect for a minute there?
It might have been. I don't know. I'm confused. He lands. Ooh. His wound is exploding.
No,
green.
guy,
I ain't staying around for this.
So
Spawn
down to SBR
was,
there.
Spawn was thought of by Tom McFarlane years before, when he was still a teenager, and the character looked a little bit like similar, but with like bright blue and bright red costumes, almost like Captain America, but with a cape and a Spider-Man mask. See, that's a pretty cool looking effect right there. I dig that. I'm also really impressed by the consistency of the green eyes.
Yeah. I almost wonder if they did have something practical in the suit for those at times. I think they have to be almost.
Yeah, well, especially with the way that you get the lights reflecting off of the eye sockets.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, was he showing trigger discipline for a second?
I'm just wondering how this kind of monster hides. He's so big. Like,
I don't know, like clinging onto a ledge somewhere.
I'm also wondering what a couple of rounds of 5.56 would ever do to a monster like this.
Right, you need at least 308.
What about Vindicator 5.56?
Vindicator.
Like there's this one book series that I like where it's literally about people who hunt monsters professionally, and they refer to 5.56 as Barbie ammo.
Nice.
Oh,
I mean, they're fighting hellspawn and vampires and werewolves and stuff. 5.56 don't do a lot. That's why the NATO standard is actually going to be, or not NATO standard, but the American standard is moving up to the
6'2".
Yep.
Oh, I'm
But it's-
impaled on a fence, and I'm giving birth in a weird way. What the heck is going on?
Okay, yeah. Did you see how like kind of weird that was? Like, I swear they had something about to come out the bottom.
His cooldown on his ultimate was done, so he had to despawn.
Despawn.
Okay, I am the clown dancing is just continually funny. I feel like
I know.
my gilly man.
Hilarious. to
Call them
me.
gilly. Sorry, that's just that was good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've heard
Okay.
Arnold say that line before, but hearing a very different vocal interpretation of that
Yeah.
line is great.
Cagliostro. Spawn Comics. Oh god, the acting, like the stuff that he does with his tongue when he's talking.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I would have nominated this guy for Best Supporting Actor. Like, unironically.
Oh yeah, dude, he makes this movie. He really does.
Yeah. Necroplasm. Necroplasm is what he's using the whole time. That
He's just-
communicate more clearly, sir. Like honestly, this guy's terrible communicator.
So I guess he doesn't heal up until he gets pulled off. So whatever impaled him, you know?
I feel like you can't really heal around an impalement.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
It's a very cool in the desk mini disc player, just gotta say.
And
Absolutely.
it's touchscreen.
It's a big deal back then.
Very Star Trek. Downloading secure files.
Can't tell it's a 90s computer though, just the fonts and everything's very boxy. Still got that
Yeah.
that
No
Windows
HD.
that Windows 95 look.
He's got to look into your soul. I do like the mysterious mentor character thing, and I dig the look. It's got a, retired Van Helsing look. A little bit of a glimmery, shimmery, greeny magic there. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy ended up being a bad guy.
I feel like he's just one bad moment away from, crossing the line. In the comics, was he, like, anything interesting about him? Or do you know the details of the comics very well?
I know some. I mainly read crossovers. I remember, like, Batman versus Spawn, Spawn versus the Predator, a couple things like that. I never, like, outright was like, yes, I must read Spawn comics. But I did read up some stuff. Like, he was actually created, the character of Cagliostro was created by Neil Gaiman, as well as Todd McFarlane. He was a supporting character, and actually who transforms over time into a villain. His whole thing is that he was an immortal who was like Cagliostro, but he was also Dracula and Merlin.
Okay, so one of those characters is like throughout history has been many other people, kind of keeping his identity, assuming different identities throughout his life. Okay.
Yeah. If you jump onto Wikipedia, you'll see all of these like alter egos, such as the Count, Vlad, Father Nicholas. So I think he's supposed to be Santa.
Okay.
And Merlin. And
He's-
apparently the character's name is technically Sin.
He's this universe's Vandal Savage, right?
Ah, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I need more guns.
Now, there's a character that hasn't been properly done in comic books.
Well, if again, he has all these guns and he just takes like one.
He does. He does have a better idea. Oh my, Barry Allen.
For the amount of movement he just did, that's not actually nearly enough chains.
Hey, you shut up. Nobody noticed.
Yeah, you see, he realized halfway through that he got him tangled, and he had to undo it and then redo it, but he just played it off cool.
Trillions of neural connections. Was his armor like a gift from Satan?
Definitely a gift from God. But yeah, it's a natural armor that comes from his nature as a hellspawn. That is a necroplasmic armor.
That's great.
Yeah, that was a surprising visual gag. I don't know, like angry skulls, sad skulls.
It reminds me of it really reminds me of just the great scene when Deadpool finds Wolverine and so he's drunk. His claws only come out a little bit.
Right.
Whiskey claws there. Little
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, that's the best.
it's just such a funny, especially delivered the way that Ron Reynolds can deliver those kind of lines.
Well, that and oh, hello, comic book accurate little king, the little Wolverine.
Aren't you little cutie?
I love that so much.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. No guts, no glory.
Oh, I want to keep the P90s.
Mm.
But it's funny, he was carrying P90s with like grenade launcher rounds on the bandoliers.
Well, doesn't he carry some sort of like I swear there's a scene where he has a grenade launcher.
No, it was one
like
of
one of
the
those
guns that was
drum
just
mag.
well, one of the
boom,
guns that
boom.
he's carrying right there had like an under barrel grenade launcher I saw, so it's probably
Okay. Oh, he's on a motorcycle. How many times does he do that head thing? But I get the feeling they just like the effect. Oh God, this guy again. He's back.
that's just rude.
So he wants to kill Win.
Because he wants the Heat 16 to go off.
Okay, okay. So, okay, he wants.
Oh, so
Win to die.
right there.
Yeah.
That motorcycle stunt right there where the gate flew out. That stunt went poorly apparently while they were filming this, and the gate really did nail a stunt guy as he was driving in a way that it was not supposed to. Luckily, the guy wasn't like seriously hurt, but an early example of a stunt not going well in a vehicle.
Oh goodness gracious! This the clown with the hat and the grenade launcher.
Yeah. Well, apparently that I love the smell of burnt asphalt. Very much a Apocalypse Now reference with Martin Sheen, who is the star of Apocalypse Now. It's all kinds of little winks and nods.
Right. Oh, cape time.
I'm gonna make my motorcycle much cooler.
He turned his motorcycle into a bug. Can he like shoot stuff out of it?
Necro goo.
Show me Batman doing that. That's what I thought. Spawn's better. Boom. I'm just kidding.
It's boiling acid.
And apparently,
Or it's more oil.
Okay.
So apparently
That's
you can
cool. I like
you
that.
can
Now he's a
stop Spawn
butterfly.
by just kind of making him slip.
The strongest bad guys are. What the heck? So he can just turn his cape into a bunker?
Yep.
I mean, it's a cool cape. It's like Hell's Green Lantern ring.
Dude, it is Hell's Green Lantern ring. I wonder if Spawn
basically.
ever fought the Green Lantern. Hmm.
Okay, that's a good shot.
Yep. Another trailer trailer shot.
Right?
Although,
Mm.
man, I was really quickly here. We'll talk about Batman again. On the Batman, when the famous trailer shot, of him walking, towards Penguin upside down with the fire, and he's upside down. I was convinced when I saw the trailer. I'm like, this is not gonna work on film. This is gonna come across unintentionally kind of cheesy. And then I saw the movie, and I'm like, oh no, they 100% pulled that off. That is an epic shot.
Oh yeah, he was
And,
terrifying.
it's
That
just
is one of
like-
my favorite superhero moments ever.
But I was like,
Have you ever done any? Sorry.
well, I was just gonna say, just one of those moments where I expected to be let down and was so happy to be very wrong.
Are you familiar with D-Box seats?
I've heard of them. Never been to a theater with them.
They're the seats that move
Mhm.
with the sound effects and everything. Which unfortunately, Dune Part 2 is actually a little bit of a letdown in the D-Box seats. But the Batman, that car chase with the D-Box seats was one of the most incredible and visceral movie experiences I have ever had. Like, oh, my heart was going, and I love that movie.
Yeah.
I unironically adore that movie.
I have issues just it's not the Batman film that I wanted, but it is a fantastic film. I can't,
Yeah.
as much as it's not the Batman movie I wanted to get, there's no way that I can deny that it's, just a phenomenal movie.
It's not even technically the Batman film I wanted. Because I wanted one that's a little bit more fantastical. I wanted one where he can fight Ra's al Ghul, the magic immortal, in the same breath as he can fight, the Riddler or the Joker.
Yeah.
But
I think
I was
we're on
happy for
similar.
Cool Detective
Yeah, I think we're on similar wavelengths there. That's also a movie that I enjoyed very much in the theater. I did enjoy it in the theater, but I actually enjoyed it much more on rewatches at home when I got to. It's a movie that actually on a smaller screen helped a little bit weirdly for me. It's one of those films that my appreciation has grown as time's gone on. Anyways, okay, so we got.
So why is he doing this? Why is he
the-
going after the
guy
family?
was like he was like investigating and like discovered Heat 16.
Yeah,
like,
figured out about
his
Heat 16
plan.
and then was trying to yeah.
So stepdad here, new husband guy, is not actually a bad guy?
No, he's not.
No,
not
he's
in
actually a good guy.
Nope.
Well, I misunderstood.
He's
then.
basically A6's PR guy. He's the public face of A6. He's their public information guy. He's doing all the meetings and having to lie for Win, and so that's why he confronted him earlier. Like, I can't keep lying for you. And then he didn't even know about Heat 16 until he investigated it.
Okay.
It's just so strange. What is going
There is
on?
There's a lot of Bugs Bunny in this Violator character. Yeah.
Goodness.
Those
I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just
right?
He has some of the best one-liners and then some of the weirdest, creepiest, grossest scenes. Yeah, it goes from good to bad to worse to back to good to bad. Yeah, it's a roller coaster, gentlemen.
yeah. This is one of the
and
most.
you've been on it
Yeah, this is a very inconsistent film because there are parts of this that I'm like,
100%.
that's awesome, and then parts I'm just like, what the heck was that?
Like, I'm gonna need some clarification, please.
Okay.
Kinky. You didn't say the magic word.
Oh, geez.
Nedry. I always love I'm
My
gonna
mom dressed up as Nedry for Halloween this year.
I love it when anybody like swings their knife through the air and it makes like the sharpening sound, like the shing, when it's just a knife being waved in the air.
That, you're right. Oh, did they kill him?
I think this is an illusion of some kind. This is actually the clown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hey,
Okay.
spoilers.
I actually don't know. I'm just guessing. Like, am I right?
I mean, maybe they sent him to hell again. Actually, the villain here, I don't know. He just looks like an angry dad.
He does.
Like, this is a guy who enjoys watching The Hunt for Red October and Master and Commander
Yes.
on the weekend.
100%.
He apparently has a very strong neck.
I had to say, yeah, he's totally fine. He just got kicked through the door. He's like, well, I'm just gonna hop right up. I'm good to go.
Is the daughter named after a shade of blue? It said that the daughter's name is Cyan or Cyan.
I think it's they keep saying,
CYAN.
yeah, they keep pronouncing it cyan.
Okay. I've also been told that I pronounce
Oh,
that wrong.
his butt's on
so-
fire.
Ooh, he's got a real hot ass, doesn't he?
Oh, gosh. Okay, wait, is his left hand like in a transparent cast there of some kind for a second?
Oh my gosh, look at that. It is just a straight up Mall Ninja knife.
We're waiting.
So many spikes.
Hmm.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, goodness.
Sir, surely you can do surgery or something and get that thing out of there. Superman?
Oh, see, here you go.
So he's just the Swiss Army knife of superpowers. Wait, is he
How did
He
what?
is the Green Lantern. So,
Did
okay.
okay, yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Eh,
I love that she's like holding on, like she's not like tied up. You know what I mean?
she's apparently the bad guy now.
Handsy baking
He
crisp.
even sounds like John Leguizamo, dude.
He's doing a great job at this. She's just... It's all over the top and extra wrong.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
So like the knife's like left in his neck.
Yeah, he's grown a new appendage. You malignant sap.
Yeah, he's got some kind of like something on his wrist.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that just like a did he break his arm or something? Or
He sprained his wrist. Ever since the lady died, he's been really lonely.
oh my gosh, he literally just said Apocalypse Now to Martin Sheen. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it.
It's just so like I mean, there's just no subtlety to this at all.
None. I enjoy movies that aren't subtle sometimes.
Oh man.
God, that must have tasted terrible. The amount of terrible things this guy had to have in his mouth for this movie. Okay.
I'm
It's somebody's
Ew.
fetish, I guess.
You see the CG like slobber on her chin.
oh.
Eh?
Okay.
I love watching him run. The little creepy clown man.
So he could pull the knife out, but Spawn couldn't.
Maybe it like paralyzes him. His kryptonite is getting his throat slit. That
I got
is
the
a crappy coif.
I had to say, yeah, that's just like chainmail like cosplay hair.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to hell.
What, are they gonna watch Spawn?
Why does this feel like the multiverse of madness?
Oh my gosh.
Nice. And is it? Oh, is it? There it is. What the heck? It's like a little. It's like they're zooming in on a toy.
You overgrown gecko.
Oh, that's PlayStation 1 right there.
I
Oh
cannot.
no!
Oh, my sword broke.
This is amazing. Okay, it was a really cool looking creature, and now you have an old man on a PlayStation 1 graphics fighting a gremlin.
There's
Wow.
shit.
Oh, and he's skydiving.
It's just
All right, this movie starts out well, and it kind of just falls off the rails.
this really
I
is.
don't know what I'm watching right now.
I am so confused.
I've never done shrooms, but I want to watch this movie on shrooms.
I was gonna say, man, I've been thinking the same thing. It's like, wow, this movie would be better with that. Yeah.
What is that right there? Just the way he was flying through. Oh my gosh. It's like flying through stuff and just the resolution dropped so hard.
Right?
Like, all the detail
And you can
went
tell
out.
he can't turn his neck when he's not CG.
He's got Batman neck.
Is this the final fight?
I hope so.
Oh,
Oh,
my
I got one of
goodness.
those Mall Ninja
Hey.
knives. Oh,
Yeah. Get him. Get him.
he exploded green.
Is that all, though? Is there no more Clown Man?
Oh my gosh. What is happening?
It's hurting my eyes. The dog weasel's gonna barf on you, bro. It's got goat eyes.
Oh man.
Are those all just spawns?
Yeah.
They really shouldn't have zoomed in on one of them for a second there, because that was just like he
Oh,
Did he just go Super Saiyan? Is he just Gokuing these guys right now?
I don't know. But you know, they
Yep.
they hit copy paste way too many times, and the computer ran out of RAM.
hey, you watch
Yeah.
it. The Windows 95 operating system that built this movie is doing its best. Okay.
It's really trying hard, and we can fly.
And now he can fly
Yeah, he can fly out of hell too.
like a bat out of hell.
I see what you did there.
And the fireplace is the dad's like just sitting there with like the Mac 11, just like, I got this.
Oh, jeez. The effect of them coming out. They just... I don't know.
Plopped on the
That was
ground.
hilarious to me. Like, there's a fireball, and then they're just laying on the floor.
And everybody in the room
Yeah.
reacts like, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh my goodness. So what did the
Is-
old man do? He was very confident. At the beginning of that fight, he was like, come and get me. And he just got his butt kicked with like no problem whatsoever.
Hey,
He
you
held
watch
off
Star
the
Wars.
Violator for a little while while
Obi-Wan
Spawn
got
was
beat in the
skydiving.
only fight he was in Star Wars. So at least in
I'm just
A
sad the
New Hope, I
Violator's
should say.
gone. He was funny. So you still age when you still age when you're immortal?
Just really, really, really slowly. Hey, found the dog.
And you have a random homeless kid with the dog.
Love to like Martin Sheen. He's just like sitting in the corner still. He's just like, I'm just gonna rest. I'm good.
Well, I think that he's under guard by the other guy.
Yeah, but still, it's just like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
I hope it's the fat guy. Come on, fat guy, be back. No, I was the goat. The goat devil. Oh, that's the Violator. Yay, fat guy's back. Aw, you're trying so hard. You see, now it looks good again. Like, I like that. That's ILM.
Maybe that's why. Maybe they like gave a bunch of scenes to like secondary animators.
That's practical right there.
Ah,
Oh, Spike
head.
Fro. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, cut off his head.
oh, gonna do
Got
some
rocked.
some chainsawing here.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, that's okay. I'm here for it. Swiss Army Spawn. Oh, jeez. The tongue.
He's using his tongue to like push his head over.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Oh, goodness. Okay. I want to spawn video game. I want it to be kind of like the Arkham Knight, okay? Instead of the Joker, you have this guy following you everywhere. Just making
Yeah.
all of the worst, most grotesque jokes.
Oh my gosh.
So does he go to hell now? What did he do?
I do have questions. What? So he cut off his head. He like had to go back to
Hey,
hell.
Brian. Hey, I know you Star Trek guys like to like think things through. It's best you don't.
Just don't try to.
No. Hey, take it from a Star Wars guy. Just believe, okay? Just believe.
Just go with the
Use
force.
the Force, Brian.
Ooh, they already destroyed all the chemical weapons. That's good for them.
Destroyed the weapons. The government's got them stockpiled, and they're going, ho, 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 look what we got here.
Oh.
I genuinely thought that the friend here was going to be a bad guy. But it's
No,
like,
he's a
no,
good guy.
he's taking care of the wife. He's being good
Yeah.
friend.
I'm hanging out in the alley with the dog, waiting for Spawn.
So they stole the family's dog.
Yeah, the poor girl. She doesn't get her own dog now.
She gets a locket.
What
They'll
was-
buy her
what
another
was his
dog.
dog,
They're a
though?
rich middle-class family.
That's why the dog followed him.
Oh gosh.
And besides, if he was dead for 5 years, that dog, given they only lived 8 to 10 years,
The dog's
is
about
already
dead
on
anyways.
its way out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Great voice.
We got
great
some
voice.
narration again. Yeah.
For now. Dun, dun, dun.
Lightning strikes with rats crawling up, Gothic cathedral-esque architecture.
And the best cape ever.
It's very The Crow.
100%.
Yeah. There you go, doing a squat,
Oh, man.
rubbing your junk on the cross.
Gosh. Oh.
Fiery eyes. Fallen.
So just. Oh man. I
Oh, so good.
Incredible. Incredible.
yeah. That is,
All right.
that is an acid trip of a movie right there.
That
100%.
that has added to my life.
Okay.
Zach, honestly, I'm so glad to hear you say that because I know my movie and media choices can be a little eclectic. And so I love that one of my guilty pleasures growing up is it provided value to you. That's
Wow.
important to me.
Like, genuinely, I am blown
Oh.
away by John Leguizamo in this movie. I'm like, this may be one of my favorite comic book performances by an actor. Like,
Yeah,
I just want to watch his scenes again.
I don't blame you.
Well, I will say that while I'm very happy to have watched this with you guys and enjoyed watching this with you, I will never see this movie again in my life.
No, probably
I
not.
think so.
Me neither.
Agreed. Oh, come on. You're going to show it to your daughter someday.
Absolutely not. I basically I had to use a bunch of brownie points to just watch this in the same house as them. So
No, has
not
Oh,
looking
that's
to.
right.
has Jess
Right.
seen this movie?
Maybe like years ago. I don't know.
All right. So I have a
Yeah.
question for you. It's quiz
Okay.
time.
Oh.
On a budget of $40 to $45 million, how much money did this make at the box office?
I think worldwide it only made like
Oh.
what 60 something. Like it didn't break even, and breaking even is doubling its money. I know.
It
Yeah,
actually
I have
did
no
break
idea.
even. It
Really?
made just over 80 just under $90 million.
Okay. So
So it doubled its money. It broke even. They were planning on doing a sequel.
were they planning two
And it was actually
actually
going to.
at the same time?
They were planning on two, at least one. The idea was actually to have Spawn be a little bit of a background character, where it'd be primarily about two detectives that I guess are main characters in the comics, as they're trying to, as they stumble upon this bizarre demonic world out there that is essentially a whole bunch of demons hunting for Spawn. And they're kind of like chasing him and getting caught in the middle of these crazy clashes between demons. Yeah. Heck of a thing there.
This is the kind of movie that I would be really curious what a serious filmmaker with like a really clear sense of like style and storytelling would do with a movie like this. With modern effects work and like, again, like the kind of stunt work you could get happening these days. You could have some really epic fight sequences, but like, as long as he didn't write it, I actually would kind of like to see a Zack Snyder version of this film. If somebody else wrote it, I would like to see him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I think Zack Snyder would do a decent job.
It would look awesome.
Yeah, it would look really good. Actually, as I'm thinking about it, I can't really think of anybody that I'd prefer more than him. Let's see. Film was criticized for being far too similar to RoboCop.
Well, it definitely has a lot of similarities as far as the main character. You actually get to see him get brutally murdered, and then personal revenge along with not being able to reconnect with his old family. There's a ton of there's a list of similarities for sure with the main character.
Okay.
Although RoboCop is a masterpiece, classic in my opinion, and this is not.
Oh, okay. So, in the original Spawn comics, Al Simmons' murder was by a man named Chapel. The character couldn't be used due to and Rob Liefeld, actually the creator of Deadpool, owning the rights to the character. As a result, they created the character of Jessica Priest in the place of Chapel. And she was going to return at the end of the movie, brought back to life through cybernetics, for a climactic battle at the end of the film.
Oh gosh.
However, it was deemed too expensive, and then they decided they would use her to tease a sequel in which she would be made a demon bounty hunter.
I mean,
None of those plans were used.
is there a post-credit sequence here?
No.
Okay. I'm looking at just these credits, and I almost feel like these credits were like shot like on like a plate that was like scrolled or something, and it keeps getting turned.
Yeah.
It's probably just the camera.
It is
but
really
still.
strange. It's trippy.
Yeah. This is such a 90s soundtrack. I love it. I actually kind of do. I definitely would have played this. What's funny is I remember I remember seeing this in the theaters. I remember everybody talking about this movie, and I was a big soundtrack guy, but somehow missed the soundtrack.
Yeah. So this movie, the author actually wrote for Spawn in comics and in the animated series. And people would comment about how terrible this movie was, and he's just like, we had both our hands tied behind our back because they wanted it to be PG-13. And this movie was just demanding an R rating. And, well, that's interesting.
Pull down
Did
your
you guys-
pants. Pictures.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wait, something's auto-playing Infinite. I don't know what this is. I don't want to watch Infinite.
Man, see, I got
Um,
my mom. Amazon knows me better than you apparently because it started playing First Contact for me, Zach.
Heard. Yeah, so let's see here.
Oh man. Well, Pat, I do appreciate as much as I wouldn't have picked this. I'm glad you did because
No, not
this
ever.
was no. This was genuinely fun to watch with you guys.
Oh, so much.
Oh,
so much.
You know, and there's so many good movies out there to watch, but there's also some really bad ones to watch and find things to appreciate about them
Oh, yeah.
because not everything's going to be a cinematic masterpiece,
No.
but there's little bits of certain movies
Well,
that
this-
are just, you know, like nostalgia glasses for
I
me.
can
you know, big time.
100% understand how anybody would put this in their guilty pleasure like category.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is almost a model of what a guilty pleasure film is. Because you can
Yeah.
see some genuine work that went into this. Some people who really did, you know, give it their all. I mean, the work's there. And there's also just plenty on this screen where you're like, what is this and who made that decision? So it's such an interesting
Like-
mixture of the two, of just great and
The
awful.
Right.
The entire like hell sequence is just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? And you know what? I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change the coloring
Oh,
on our thing from
What are you changing it to?
bad to so bad it's good.
okay. It's getting
Yes,
the pink.
100%.
Yeah,
Agreed.
it's
It
getting
is
pink.
definitely so bad. Yes, yes, that is an appropriate.
So I do actually have like a legitimate question though, for
Sure.
you guys. What would you change to make it good? Like, how would you fix this movie?
I would have let Martin
So,
Sheen play his role a little more straight, like not so over the top, like let him be a little more menacing because he's very capable of doing it as an actor.
Okay.
You gonna say, Pat?
Yeah, I would have my problem is the final battle is just it's kind of weak compared to the battle with the Violator midway through the movie. Like it wasn't very like it didn't end well, I don't think. I think the lead up and like the origin story went very well, but then it didn't feel like a good spot to end.
Yeah.
And it didn't end with enough gravitas, in my opinion. You didn't have the war with the Chitauri, you know, in Avengers or this, that, or the other. It wasn't, and some of the, I mean, granted, the CG was what it was, but maybe don't do as much CG and make it a little more practical and make it a better fight.
It's well,
You know?
to me, it's funny. I'm thinking of Star Trek V, how they didn't do the ending that Shatner wanted because they're
Yeah.
just like, we can't do this, so they just bailed on it. And as much as that movie's
Yeah.
horrible, this is an example of what happens when nobody steps in and says, we really can't pull this off. We should just nix this whole like sequence. Because it would have been better to just found a smaller, more character-driven way to have a battle than it's so distractingly bad. Like it's not even like, okay, it's a little rough, but you understand for the time. Like, no, we can go back and find many films from the mid to late 90s that did CG okay, but that was just bad. I mean, it was just like
Mhm.
weirdly bad
It was. Mm-hmm.
as far as just the
Yeah.
the quality resolution, the animation. You know, just again, I mean, you can go back and you can watch a lot of at this point, some of the cinematic work that like Blizzard was doing for
Mhm.
Warcraft and Starcraft were like legitimately better than that. And yeah, it was just, oh man, you know hire the people that did Final Fantasy's cutscenes in the 90s. I mean, they were really good. Like it was able to be done at this point in film. And I think that's what's weird about it, is that it's not bad in the, okay, it's a little rough because it's from this era. No, it's just objectively bad without any kind of asterisk to it. And it was so distracting at the end.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. You had this movie with good effects here and there, and then you tried to one up it instead of keeping that same level of effects and just making it good. So you tried to like wow us with the effects, and it was distracting. Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If I
That's
had
crazy.
watched that sequence, I think now, like with my 40-year-old brain and eyes versus when I was
Yeah.
16 in a theater, I think it would have given me like a legit headache, because it was just like
Oh, 100%.
the frame rate when the resolution was so bad. It was just like even on my small computer screen here, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of painful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have
Yeah.
a headache. I don't know if it's from that, but it might have been a contributor.
It didn't help.
Certainly didn't.
Well, this was a
Oh,
lot of fun. Gosh, we
Yes.
we're almost done with this year, which is crazy to think. I mean, we're not gonna do like seasons on this podcast, but we are, kind of treating years like, we kind of wrap things up. We're gonna have like I was thinking of the next movie that's on the list that is a comic book film that is a real interesting mixture of good and bad. Is in about a month here, we're gonna have Punisher Warzone coming up, right, Zach?
I thought we were doing Punisher.
Well,
Like-
we're doing both, but like,
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I actually have an affection for the Thomas
First
Jane.
Punisher's good.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
100%.
yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's good. It's it's a really good play to
Ah.
wait.
Well,
Sorry,
I mean,
Patrick. Continue.
Exactly.
well, I was about to say there's a
you're
reason
good.
that Go ahead, sorry, Pat.
I was just gonna say, it was also one of the early Marvel. I'm gonna give it a very hard pat, like a very. It wasn't post Iron Man. It was pre Iron Man. Like to me, anything like the Blade movies, like that was before comic book movies were actually really that good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm not going to look at it with the lens of having seen Avengers and Iron Man and all those, these movies walked so Avengers could run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause even early X-Men is pretty rough.
it definitely, it's a mixture. Because like that one, I think Thomas Jane is great. Roy Schneider in his small role is great. John Travolta, who's not a bad actor, but just did not do well in that film.
Yeah.
But
You see,
Warzone
that's the
is
thing. Warzone's a joke. Like, I genuinely think it was made for tax purposes, or just to like keep the
Mhm.
rights.
I just
Because-
I hate the fact I love Race. He's is it Ray Stevenson or
Ray Stevenson.
yeah? He's such a great actor that he's like he would have been a great choice for the role. He was a great choice for the role, but that movie is so bad.
Yeah. But it's like it is genuinely a little bit on the so bad it's good side to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So I
but that's kind of
like
the
you
next.
were saying though, that movie, Punisher 2004 with Thomas Jane, is this mixture of actually really fantastic movie mixed with what were they thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where Warzone's just an acid trip.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like looking at our schedule, that's probably the next movie even approaching like kind of the category that this movie goes into. So,
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
I mean, what's
But
interesting
we
is
do have next year. We do have some substantial Marvel.
we do. We're jumping into and yeah, we're finally. If anybody's curious, you got to wait a little while, but we are actually going to jump into the modern proper MCU finally. We're only going to go through basically phase 1. We're not going to spend the whole year on Marvel, but we've got that. We got we got some we got some mixture of some rough and some awesome next year for sure.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure there was a lot more bad.
Yeah.
I even told
for
Brian
next year's
more bad movies.
Good.
People want to
Gotta
look
put
hear
more
about
bad movies.
bad movies.
Oh,
I want to
gosh.
put Brian
Bad
through
movies.
bad movies.
Oh gosh.
You know, I think it's good, right? Again, there's some good ones on there, but there's also and there's a lot of movies on here. They're campy. RoboCop is a campy movie,
Uh,
and especially like nowadays. Like again, back in the day, but like a lot of those older movies, there's some nostalgia factor there, but you also just kind of have to. It's kind of like watching the original series of Star Trek
yeah.
without the graphical improvements, and just kind of
Mm.
being okay with going like, hey, this is what they had. I remember I went through the whole Mad Max
Oh, yeah.
movies, all of them,
Yeah.
and I remember just being like,
The
all
Gibson
right,
ones.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, the Gibson ones. It's like, hey, this is okay. This is what they had to work with.
Mhm.
Watch it
Yeah.
for the story. Watch it for the acting. For example,
Mm,
at the end of Spawn, right?
yeah.
There were several times I had to close my eyes during that final battle because I couldn't see what was going on in my old man eyes.
Oh gosh.
No,
Well,
this was a lot of fun,
no,
guys.
this
This
was
was
a lot of
a
fun.
very, very, yeah, absolutely. Ooh, Arrival next year. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
It is. And also,
Yeah.
like, these are subject to change, but I'm really excited for a
Oh,
lot
for
of them
sure.
going forward. For
Mhm.
example, next year is the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith. So you
Prequels,
know
baby.
we're hitting the Star Wars
Prequels.
prequels.
Yes.
But in
Good.
the meantime, this has been Spawn.
This has been Spawn.
Yeah.
Oh, although, man, I just immediately now want to jump into a conversation of how do you compare the prequels to Spawn? Oh gosh. Anyways,
You don't.
Okay,
You
okay.
don't.
but think of this though. They were 7 years apart. Like, that movie, Star Wars Episode 3, still an absolutely fantastic visual effects feast. It's only like less than 10 years away from Spawn. I mean,
So
2 years after
yeah.
Spawn was freaking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Episode 1.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then only 2 years after
Um,
that, we had Gollum. I mean, we were like the
all right.
speed that CG characters like progressed at for how good they were.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what happens, or what happens or happened. Here's a good example. This is sort of similar but different. You guys familiar with the movie Sin City?
Oh yeah.
Sadly.
Okay. And then there's another movie that was similar to it but awful called Spirit.
Yes.
Did you guys ever watch that one?
I've
Spirit was an awful movie.
I have
Sin
not
City
seen
was a
Spirit.
good one. Good-ish, but you know what I mean? Like it just similar styles, but vastly different story.
Yeah, Sin City. I hesitate to call it a good movie, but it had artistic merit.
Of course. Well, then
Okay.
that's just it. I'm not holding that up. See, and I think it's tough, right? Because it's like with all these movies we're watching, we're not sitting with a bag of apples. We've got an apple, an orange, a grapefruit, all these different styles of movies. Like you can't compare Spawn to a Star Trek movie. They're two different things. Like there's no way. There's no way. Like Star Wars, same thing. Think about this. Like Star Wars already had 30 years. What? No, okay, 2000. Yeah, no, 30. Yeah, we'll say 30 years of development before Episode 1. Right? You had characters, you had all this stuff. Spawn tried to fit all that into an hour and a half movie.
Yeah, that's a fast
You
film.
had to figure
Yeah.
out who Spawn was. Yeah, and that's why it felt like we were on crack, jumping from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene. Oh, there's a cape dissolve. There's another cape dissolve. Where are we? Are we in hell? Are we on Earth? Whose house is that? I don't know. Why is he eating out of the garbage? Where'd the dog go?
You know, I'll say this before we end here that I've loved this bet because you're one of my best friends in the world, and quite often when you join us for these, you just enjoy the film and you don't say a whole lot, and it is so fun to hear you like just go off on a few things because you're great, my friend.
Oh
Yes, you
man,
are.
well, and well, it's funny because this movie, I wish I didn't know this movie as well as I do. Again, early 20s, don't late teens, early 20s. Anyway, but like other movies we watched, like The Rocketeer, I hadn't seen that in probably 20 years, and I was just like, "Oh, yeah, this is so cool. I remember this." And so I'm, like, silent through most of that podcast because I didn't have anything to say because I was just like, "Oh, it's so good." But this one, it was like, I know it's bad, and so I had so much to say. Uh,
That's wonderful.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
so
so
good.
good.
So
So
good.
good.
Yes, yes.
But on that
All
note, we
right.
should wrap this up. Thank you so much
Yes.
for anybody who's stuck with us this long. As
Mhm.
always, appreciate any feedback, any ideas, any films that you would love to see us
Mhm.
or listen to us talk about, good or bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Either way.
And my final word on this movie. If you have a strong stomach and you want to see a truly incredible performance, go on YouTube and look up John Leguizamo in Spawn. And if you didn't watch this movie with us, and just
It's
see
fantastic.
what this guy did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
truly amazing. All right,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's it. Good night, everybody.
All
Good
right.
night.
Yeah. Good night, guys. Good work.
Later.
There's doors and corners, kid. If you don't clear the room, if you don't come in slow, that room will eat you.